Hi guys, follow me on Instagram to never ever miss any of my crazy updates. Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I'm driving this. This is the first generation of the Hyundai Creta. This is actually the 2018 model. This is the base variant of the Creta diesel, the E+, and this car comes courtesy of Abhay Yadav to me. So straight away we are going to be opening the engine bay, which is the Chindu Mintu 1.4 liter engine, which has never been cleaned in its whole life. Look at the dirt. But never mind, this car has been abused a lot. There's no insulation there. It's abused a lot because it's actually used in the factory and not being taken care of very well. That's the reason you see the bumper and the headlights, they are no longer in unison. Full halogen light here, you get fog lights as well. And you know what? This design of the Creta was actually more universally accepted. The new one was, the second generation Creta is more of a love it, hate it feeling. From the side, it is slightly under 4.3 meters in length. The new one is exactly 4.3 meters in length. The wheelbase is slightly under 2.6 meters in length. The new one obviously has a longer wheelbase as well. But yes, the design actually looks quite nice. This car has got alloy wheels. The tire size is actually 225/60/16s. Yeah, alloy wheel design is actually nice, but the center hub is missing. You get this body cladding. The rear door does not open anymore from the outside, and it has to be opened from the inside. That's the reason it has already been kept open. And there you can see, I think seat covers have been added. Center passenger does not get a head. No adjustable headrest either. There's good amount of space on offer. In fact, when I sat inside, I realized, okay, it's actually very comfortable. Under thigh support is not the best. Footroom is good, knee room is okay, legroom is also good enough, I would say, for a car of this size. New one is obviously better in that regard. There are rear AC vents even on the base variant, which is nice. Magazine holders here. Headroom is adequate enough. Actually, they've placed the seat lower down, so you don't get a very good view of what's ahead. Little raised would be quite nice, honestly. No center armrest here either, but then that's expected from the base variant. D for diesel, and the rear lights are actually aftermarket, which you can see sort of gets the LED treatment as well. And dynamic swipe indicators, Creta written there. Yeah, dynamic swipe indicators, CRD are written there. Now thing is that this car went real off-roading and dropped its skid plate there. So you can see the rusted exhaust. So yeah, this car has not been taken care well of. Anyways, straight away, let's open the boot, and there it opens. Okay, it's a decent boot. It's like 400 liters. New one is 433 liters. So much bigger in that regard, and there's a light placement here. Let's shut this. No rear wiper washer on this variant, of course. That is the antenna. You've got rain visors, which is there on this one. It's not there on that one. I don't know why. Anyways, let's open it. Some rusting, quite a bit of rusting here, and this seems to be illuminated. Was it? You guys let me know if you have owned a Creta. Controls for the power windows. Again, seats seem nice and comfortable. You have to actually put the key inside to turn on the car. It's making this sound as well. Dashboard design is actually quite nice. It's a very appealing dashboard. It's a very basic audio system here. Some storage space here, storage space here, storage space here. Plenty of storage space in this car. Yeah, and cluster also looks decent, I would say. Let's turn on the car. Okay, do we have a clutch lock? Yes, we do. There it turns on. Okay, leather wrapping on the steering wheel. 2 buttons here. That's it. No other buttons, but these buttons are actually for the trip meter there to operate it, which is not operating at the moment, so it's just made a fool of myself right now. Anyways, let's use the wipers. Wipers work nicely. This is manually dimming, and there's a mirror here. There should be nothing right there. There's a clock right there. So overall, it's practical in terms of storage space and all that stuff. The diesel engine clatter is quite a lot. Nobody really cares about the features right now for an old car. What you care is how does it drive after being used for almost 4 years in a bad condition. Let's go. Alright, we are all set to go, which means turning on the car. Okay, there it turns on. A little longer than I expected. Some amount of noise coming from the suspension. We are going to take a quick U-turn first. And getting to reverse is actually, yeah, it's a dog leg reverse, that side. I think the tire is making noise of the suspension. But anyways, the clutch is definitely gone. But I remember driving this car earlier, the 1.4 Creta, which actually had a very light clutch and very slick shifts as well. Okay, now the lights are off. When I put it into auto somehow, steering feels very, very, very loose and light. Okay, it wasn't like this, but probably after driving the new Creta, I am feeling all this and more. So it's extremely light a steering wheel. This is definitely on the softer side, so ride is pretty good. In fact, this generation of the Creta had a very nice low speed ride because of the soft suspension. Of course, the horn horn is nice, and there's a driving school lesson going ahead, and the spare wheel is mounted on the tailgate but on the inside side of that Santro. So this is a 1.4 liter diesel engine. This is the same engine which also powered the i20 diesel, the last generation model. So this produced 90 horsepower and 220 Newton meters of torque. Okay, steering feels very loose. There's plenty of body roll as well. Now thing is that the keychain is making some sound. Okay, car doesn't have any dynamics as such. That's surprising. Okay, there's some issue with this car, but you know what, this replicates a Maruti, because if you keep the steering like this, it will not center, it will keep going like that. So that is also a bit of an issue. So in the center position, it's very loose. Anyways, the 1.6 liter engine produced 123 horsepower and 260 Newton meters of torque. So this is obviously much down in terms of power and torque, and that reflects in the 0 to 100 kilometers per hour timing, because this one takes 2.5 seconds more to go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, 13 seconds compared to 10.5 seconds for the 1.6 liter diesel. The 1.6 liter diesel obviously was much more powerful, but this was more cost effective and more frugal. Claimed mileage is 21.38 kilometers per liter, which is quite nice. Here, let me pull it into the higher end of the rev range. Red line comes in at 5000 RPM almost, which is quite good. So yes, it likes to rev this motor, and brakes feel a bit weak. From my memory, I recollect the Creta was actually quite good, the first generation model, in terms of city driving. Obviously not very dynamic, soft suspension which led to vertical movement at high speed. The steering wasn't as bad as I'm feeling today, so I think something is amiss here on the steering wheel, because yeah, it feels extremely light. No, we are not doing the NCAP test yet, but anyways, engine is quite refined but gets very boomy as you pull it harder into the higher end of the rev range. Now this 1.4 liter engine and the 1.6 liter engine merged later, and Hyundai did it so that it's easier and more cost effective in development. Because of BS6 emission norms, they thought it did not make any sense to work on both 1.4 and 1.6 liter engines in updating them to meet the stricter emission norms, because there's a lot of cost which is involved in making it comply. The result is that the 1.4 and 1.6 both disappeared and became the 1.5, which produces 115 horsepower and 250 Newton meters of torque. So like a middle ground of both the engines, and that is the mainstay engine for Hyundai right now, because it powers the Creta. It also powers the freaking Alcazar, can you believe it? And then obviously the i20 unbelievable. And then they have discontinued the smaller capacity engine, and I don't know what is happening, why people are driving in the middle of the road in the wrong way. But anyways, if there can be a tree in the middle of the road, then people can drive from wherever they feel like. So that's a non-issue, I believe. Airbag warning is on right now, which means that airbag will pop open anytime, and we'll witness a live airbag demonstration. Just kidding. Actually feels quite good to drive somehow because of the punchy engine. In spite of being 1.4 liter, it still is quite nice because there is turbo lag. There's quite a lot of significant turbo lag lower down the rev range, because of which obviously you feel that, oh my god, drivability is not good. But that is the silence before the storm. Here I'm cornering. Okay, there is plenty of body roll. So because of that, there's a silence before the storm, and that means obviously the mid range is very nice and strong. Top end is a bit lacking. Here we are going to go through this corner. Let's see how it goes. Firstly, so I have to counter correct the steering like 3, 4, 5, 7 times, and oh yes, we managed that quite well. Now the price of this car was between 10 lakhs to around almost 17 lakh rupees. I'm talking about the first generation Creta, and then in the second generation the price went up to 12.24 lakhs for the starting variant and goes all the way to 22 lakhs today. So yes, prices have gone quite through the roof, but then not as much as what we have seen with Toyota cars, especially the Innova and the Fortuner. So yeah, but the new Creta is so much better in many ways. Only thing is it doesn't have a universally accepted design language like this car, which definitely looks better in terms of aesthetics and everybody will like it. But the new Creta's design has grown on us for sure. I am sure now nobody complains that the design is a bit too quirky and aggressive and weird maybe. Alright, into first gear, revving the motor. No wheel spin because of the lower end punch not being that great. Yeah, this is a car which doesn't like to be pushed as much, but again the engine is not in the best of conditions, or the pink of health as I would like to say. Thing is that this 1.4 actually handles better than the 1.6 because the front end is lighter because of the lighter 1.4 liter engine when compared to the 1.6. The 1.6 has great handling although compared to the petrol, because the petrol is not as stiff, and this is also not stiff, but the petrol is super soft in this generation of the Creta. So as I see it, the problem is the resale value of this car is just too good, because the Creta was such a massive success, the first generation model. Even the second generation is obviously, but the first generation success was so good that you won't believe it, that resale value is like through the roof. If you want to buy a second-hand Hyundai Creta, you have to shell quite a premium for it. And on that discovery, it's time to end. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to give the thumbs up, that's the like button, and also subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next video real soon. This car kind of feels like a toy to drive. Look at the looseness in the steering. I cannot believe it. It's that loose. Bye bye.